Why do some people get sick and other people don't? In 2008, I was sitting in my office watching a short documentary about genetics. It showed an experiment about 2 lab mice. Both had identical DNA, born with the same genetic blueprints designed to make them obese, diabetic, and heart disease. The study design was simple. 2 sets of pregnant mice, expose them to bisphenol A, and then give them both standard rat chow. What was different is one pregnant mouse got additional nutrients like B vitamins, folate, and antioxidants. The other one got nothing. As expected, the pregnant mouse without additional nutrients had a litter of mice which, unfortunately, struggled with those genetic predispositions. Here's what blew my mind. The other litter of mice, no issues, no diabetes, no obesity, and no heart disease. And there was only a single difference: nutrients. I slammed my hands down on the desk and I loudly explained, that's what I want to do. Those nutrients didn't change the DNA. They cleaned it. They wiped away the chemical dirt that was turning the wrong genes on and the right ones off. Same DNA, same genes, 2 completely different outcomes. And that's when I realized our genes aren't fixed forever. They're just dirty, like a pair of jeans covered in dust and grime. They get dirty from the food we eat, the chemicals we're exposed to, the stress that we carry. And when they're dirty, they malfunction. And that's when I felt like everything I knew about medicine completely shifted. I'm Dr. Ben Lynch. For years, I'd been suffering. Nosebleeds, rashes, insomnia, depression came and went for no reason. I became a naturopathic doctor to try to find the answers. I helped people clean up their diet, their water, their lifestyle. Some got better, others did everything right, and they still stayed sick. We've been missing the instruction manual, the code that tells us our bodies how to use the genes that we're born with. And when I learned how to read that code, not just for my patients, but for myself, everything changed. Within a few years, I became known as the go-to expert on genetic health. By 2015, my company was ranked the fastest growing in Washington State by Inc. magazine. By 2018, my book Dirty Genes became a national bestseller. That day in 2008 didn't just change my life, it inspired me to help bring a new approach to medicine into the mainstream, and it might just change yours. And here's what happened. Chapter 1, the doctor doesn't know. Your doctor is probably 10 years behind on genetic science. It's not their fault. After watching that documentary in 2008, I couldn't stop thinking about those mice. Around that same time, someone I was consulting with asked me about bipolar disorder. I started rattling off what I learned in med school, and then I said, whoa, gotta stop myself. I haven't looked at the research lately. I pulled up the National Library of Medicine. I searched bipolar and folate because I knew there was some connection between bipolar and folate metabolism. I just didn't know what. What came back was a paper about a gene called MTHFR. I didn't know what the hell MTHFR was, so I searched for it. I put it back in the search bar, and I was literally blown away. This single gene was associated with cancers, pulmonary embolisms, infertility, pregnancy complications, ADHD, depression, on and on. Thousands and thousands of published papers on this gene, and I had never heard of it. Not once in 4 years of medical school. Not from any colleague, not from any professor. So I kept digging, and what I found shocked me. Genetic scientists have been publishing this research for over a decade. The papers were literally sitting in medical journals, freely available. Doctors weren't reading them. Health practitioners had no idea how to use this information. There was this massive gap. Scientists were ridiculously far ahead of what was happening in doctors' offices, and millions of people, possibly you, were suffering because of it. This means if you've ever felt dismissed by your doctor, told it's just in your head, or you're given a prescription that didn't work, it might not be that your doctor doesn't care. They literally might not know that genetic factors are at play. The science exists, it's just not making it to their office. Chapter 2, your genes are dirty. They're not broken. Most people think they have bad genes, but what if your genes aren't broken? They're just dirty. I started working backward. If those mice proved that disease-causing genes could be somehow made less risky, then chronic disease wasn't just about having bad DNA. It was about having genes that were responding to bad inputs. I came up with this analogy. Imagine your genes covered in dust and dirt. You wouldn't throw them away. You'd wash them. Your genes work the same way. They get dirty from things like the food you eat or you don't eat, industrial chemicals you're exposed to, chronic stress, poor sleep, even the water you drink. When your genes are dirty, they malfunction. They send the wrong signals, or they don't send any signal at all. And that's when disease happens. I looked at my own health issues, the nosebleeds, the rashes, the insomnia, the depression, and for the first time, They actually made sense. My genes weren't defective. They were just dirty. They were responding the best that they could possibly do despite everything I'd been exposed to over the years. Growing up, crop dusters would literally spray pesticides right over our house. I sprayed Roundup from a 5-gallon backpack sprayer for a few years as a young kid wearing shorts and shoes. I worked in a New Zealand peach orchard and got completely drenched in herbicides while driving a tractor. Years later, during college, I stepped into a sauna after rowing practice, and within minutes, I felt violently off. All those stored chemicals from all those spraying mobilized all at once right into my brain. My genes were doing exactly what they were supposed to do. They were responding to a toxic environment. They were just responding poorly because they were overwhelmed. If you've been told that you have bad genes, here's what I want you to understand. You might just have dirty genes, and dirty genes can be cleaned. That's the entire point. You're not stuck with the hand that you were dealt. Chapter 3, the 7 genes that run your life. Out of 20,000 genes in your body, there are 7 that act like master switches. And when they're dirty, everything else breaks down. After years of research, I identified 7 out of 20,000 genes that have a significant impact upon your health. I call them the Super 7. I chose these 7 genes for 4 reasons. 1, they have a solid backing of research. Pretty important. Number 2, they have genetic variations which are common in the population. This means that many people are walking around with significant mutations and they don't know it, but should. So do you. Number 3, they are heavily influenced by lifestyle, diet, environment, and nutrition, which means, ultimately, you can do something about it. And 4, they represent major body systems. These genes control how your body handles stress. That's MTHFR, COMT, and MAO-A. How you detoxify chemicals. That's GST. How you respond to foods. That's DAO. Your cardiovascular system. That's NOS3. And your cell membranes and your liver function, that is PEMT. When even one of these genes is dirty, it creates a domino effect. Your stress response breaks down. Your detox pathways get clogged. Inflammation spirals out of control. Here's the kicker. Almost everyone has at least 1 or 2 of these genes born dirty. That means you inherited a genetic variation that makes you more vulnerable. But, and this is a critical but, being born with a dirty gene is not the same as being stuck with the disease. Those mice, they proved it. The genetic variation just means you need to be more careful about what you eat, what you're exposed to, and how you live. You don't need to test all 20,000 genes. You just need to know which of these 7 are affecting you. What's making them dirty? That's where we start. Chapter 4, the methylation cycle, your body's master reset. There's a biochemical process happening right now in your body, 1 billion times a second. And if it's not working, you're gonna feel off. It's called methylation. And if that sounds complicated, here's what you need to know. Methylation is like your body's software update system. It controls how you make creatine, eliminate histamine, detoxify mercury, arsenic, how you produce brain chemicals in your brain like serotonin, dopamine, how you turn your genes on, how you turn them off, how you repair your DNA. When methylation is working, your body hums along beautifully. When it's not, everything breaks down. And here's a core issue. MTHFR, that gene I read about in 2008, that is at the center. That balances the entire methylation cycle. If your one MTHFR gene is dirty, the entire system struggles. This is why people with MTHFR variations often experience broad symptoms like mood swings, blood clots, pregnancy loss, heart disease, recurrent miscarriage, preeclampsia, neural tube defects. It's not that they have 10 different problems, they all have one problem. The methylation system isn't working, and it's causing 10 different symptoms. More than that, actually, way more. The good news? You can support methylation by eating leafy green vegetables. Why? Because they contain natural folate your body can actually use. You can avoid folic acid, that synthetic crap that actually blocks your receptors. Managing stress, getting deep sleep, those are also incredibly important. Supplement with vitamin B2, have a healthy functioning thyroid, and avoid laughing gas. When you clean up your MTHFR gene, the other 6 genes often start working better as well too. It's like removing the cork from a bottle. Everything else can flow. Chapter 5, why green tea makes you anxious. If you experience irritability, breast tenderness, and difficulty sleeping around ovulation, it could be linked to your COMT gene. I had a client, a concert pianist, who was experiencing these very symptoms. The problem? She had a slow COMT. COMT is the gene that helps clear estrogen and stress neurotransmitters that you're familiar with, dopamine, epinephrine, from your system. When COMT is slow, those compounds stick around longer than they should. That's great when you need intense focus. You can crank through work for many hours, but it also means you can't calm down easily. Too much estrogen, too much stress neurotransmitters, and that combination makes you edgy. You lie awake at night, mind racing, PMS hits harder. You're quick to irritate. Here's what's wild. Someone else might have a fast COMT. They clear those compounds too quickly. They have the opposite problem. They can't focus. They're low energy. They're prone to depression. They crave stimulation, and they need caffeine just to function. Same gene, opposite problems, opposite solutions. This is why genetic health advice doesn't work. Drink green tea for focus, you might hear. But that might help someone with a fast COMT, and it may make someone with a slow COMT jittery and irritable. You need to know your genes, not someone else's. And that's the only way to create a protocol that actually works for your body. Chapter 6, the Histamine Mystery. If you get headaches, hives, or runny nose after eating certain foods, but allergy tests come back negative, you probably have a dirty DAO gene. For years, I get these bizarre symptoms after eating. Sometimes my nose would bleed. Other times, I get patches of eczema on my neck. My heart would race. I'd be grumpy for no reason. My feet would even sweat. What the hell, right? These symptoms would show up anywhere from 20 minutes to 2 hours after a meal. So how could I figure out which food was causing it? It was maddening. Struggling, I ordered allergy tests. Gluten and dairy tested positive. Kind of relieved, I avoided those foods. But after eliminating them completely and staying away from them, I felt only 50% better. So I was still reacting to something. Was I actually reacting? Or was it what all doctors say? It's all in my head. Then I discovered the DAO, the gene that breaks down histamine in your gut. When DAO is dirty, you can't process histamine from fermented foods like wine, kimchi, kombucha, cheese, and sauerkraut. Aged meats? Loved aged meats. Leftovers are risky. Why? Because bacteria found in leftover food produce histamine over time. Even certain fresh foods have high histamine, like citrus fruits and fish. When histamine builds up in your system, it triggers all sorts of symptoms. Migraines, hives and itchy skin, runny nose, racing heart, anxiety, irritability, insomnia, just to name a few. It looks like you're allergic to everything, but you may not be, especially if your allergy tests say you're not. Your DAO gene just can't keep up. It's dirty. If that sounds like you, here's the fix. Avoid the known allergens, eat fresh food, not leftovers. Avoid high histamine foods and drinks temporarily while you heal your gut, because gut infections, they make it worse. Take specific probiotics that actually break down histamine instead of producing it. If you do accidentally or purposely eat a high histamine food or drink, you can supplement with a DAO enzyme that's available over the counter. The DAO enzyme literally eats up the histamine since your body can't. That saved me and my wife a number of times after eating out. Once I cleaned up my DAO, my histamine symptoms literally disappeared. It wasn't magic. I was just giving my body what it needed to do its job. Now I can eat what I want, for the most part, when I want. Chapter 7, health is a moving target. Here's what nobody tells you about optimal health. It doesn't exist because your body is constantly changing. Just recently, my 17-year-old son texted me. We've got forest fires here in Washington State right now. Smoke everywhere. He was about to go wake surfing, and he asked me what supplement should he take to protect against smoke inhalation. I texted him back, take some glutathione. And he knew it was a master antioxidant that helps neutralize chemicals like forest fire smoke. He's taken it thousands of times before. 25 minutes later, I get a call back. Dad, I just got a headache. I don't think I'm gonna go surfing because it'll just get worse. I said, well, I think that's actually because you took too much glutathione. He's like, what? I said, go surf anyway. Breathing the smoke will actually use up the excess glutathione and your headache will go away. He's like, you sure? I said, yeah, go for it. He went and his headache disappeared. That is what I mean by health as a moving target. Your body is constantly swinging between deficiency and excess. Too little glutathione means toxic overload. Too much glutathione causes headaches. The right amount gives you the right amount of protection. The same is true for methylfolate, magnesium, even water. There's no perfect dose that works forever. Depends on what you ate that day, how stressed you are, what you're exposed to, what other supplements that you took, how much you exercise. This is why you can't just take a pill and forget it. You have to tune in. Pay attention. Learn to read your body's signals. When you feel great, dial back the supplements. When you're stressed or you're exposed to chemicals, dial them up. It's not complicated. It just requires awareness. Chapter 8, the supplement trap. Most people take supplements every single day, but the actual definition of supplement literally means to add to what's missing. If nothing's missing, stop taking it. Think about your car. When your gas tank is full, or 3/4 full, or a quarter tank full, you don't necessarily pull into the gas station, you drive right past it. But with supplements, people do the opposite. They feel great. They keep taking it every day. They keep filling up their gas tank even though it's full. Then they start feeling worse. The anxiety sets in, the irritability, the insomnia, depression. Then they think, oh, the supplement stopped working. It's like, no, you actually overdid it. You filled the tank past full and now it's overflowing. I see this all the time with methylfolate. Someone's deficient, they start taking it, they feel amazing for a week, and then they crash into anxiety and irritability. Why? Because they kept taking it after deficiency was resolved. And now they've literally swung to the other extreme. This is why I created the Pulse method. The Pulse method is my method for starting, pausing, or stopping a supplement based purely on how you're feeling. Feel you need some support? Take the supplement. Feel great? Don't take the supplement. Feel bad again, or you actually want to prevent a deficiency like my son who's going to go surfing? Take the supplement. Here's the rule. Wake up in the morning and tune in. Do you feel good? Skip the multivitamin that day. You don't need it. You feel sluggish or your brain fogged? Well, you probably need some additional support. So take it. Supplements are tools, not daily rituals. Use them when you need, put them away when you don't. Chapter 9, your genes are talking. Are you listening? Your body is constantly sending you signals about which genes are dirty, but most people ignore them until it's too late. Every symptom is a message. You just have to learn the language. For example, irritability plus insomnia, that's a slow COMT. You can't clear estrogen, dopamine, and stress neurotransmitters well. Depression plus laziness and can't focus, that's a fast COMT. You're clearing out dopamine too quickly. Hives, headaches, runny nose after meals, that's a dirty DAO. You can't break down the histamine. Cold hands and feet plus high blood pressure, that's dirty NOS3, poor circulation. High blood pressure, pregnancy issues, mood swings, that's a dirty MTHFR. Your methylation system is struggling. Most people treat these symptoms separately. They take an anxiety med, then they take a sleep aid, then they take an anti-inflammatory, never realizing they're all connected to one or two of these dirty genes. That's like trying to fix a car by replacing the tires, or the windshield, or the radio, when the real problem is the driver. Learn how to drive your personal vehicle. Start paying attention to patterns. What foods make you feel terrible? What time of the day do you crash? How long does it take you to recover from stress? These patterns are clues. They're your genes talking. And once you start to learn to listen, you can clean them before they turn into chronic disease. If this resonated with you, watch this next video where I break down the 7 genes that control your health and how to know which ones are dirty in your body.